All right, guys. So this video right here is amazing. You have a CNN host who is basically going to give the worst advice humanly possible to the Democrats, to Kamala and Tim Walz. So listen to what they say here, and then I'm going to give you the reality based on the numbers. So here we go.
So what I think she needs to do is not let Donald Trump rattle her. I think she needs to, for those voters who are saying, I've heard that you're very progressive. I've heard that you are way outside the mainstream. I've heard that you hold some views that seem like I just can't go there with you. I think she needs to speak to those voters because she has locked up the Democratic base. She does not need to speak to progressives and rally them anymore. She's going to have to speak to that middle.
Oh my God. I've never heard worse advice in my life. Never. Never. Ask yourself this basic question. How did we get to the point where we are now, where the polls have perfectly flipped? You had Trump was up, like 4 or 5 points on Biden on average. Biden was losing every single swing state. Then it became Kamala and Walz. And what happened? Total flip. As I'm talking to you right now, according to Nate Silver, Kamala's now up 3 points on average in the national polls, and she's leading in every swing state except one. She's up in 7 out of 8. So, and what happened here, right? Okay, well, she became the one. Then she picked Tim Walz, best governor in the country with the best record in the country, economically populist, true, tried and true, progressive. And every rally that they do, they are absolutely dropping nukes on the Republicans' heads. They're being aggressive. They're being direct. They're having fun with it. They're using humor. When they make policy arguments, 90% of the time, they are making actual progressive policy arguments, with the one exception, of course, of the border, where she released that ad, which was a very conservative ad. But time and again, they are leaning into shoring up the base. That's what they're doing. They're leaning into shoring up the base. And it's worked. And it's worked. There's no way you can have any other interpretation based on the facts, based on the numbers, based on the data. So the advice that she's giving is, don't do the thing that made you surge. Don't do the thing that got you to the top. Don't do the thing which now is showing a clear trend where you're riding a wave where you might end up winning in a landslide. She's saying, don't do that. Fuck your base. Don't worry about your base. Who cares? Who cares about your base? Try to reach out to this mushy, so-called middle-of-the-road moderate who are phantom, who we just made up in our heads. No, the numbers show those people have already migrated, and they've migrated based on the strong rhetoric of how they're trying to shore up their base. Look, guys, it's a myth. There's a myth here. You could either appeal to your base if you're on the left, or you can appeal to the moderates. It's a false dichotomy. What if I told you the way to appeal to both is the same path? And you know what? It is. Look, I have data to prove that for you. So this is some polling from Public Policy Polling, or excuse me, Data for Progress. And they say the following. Which policies are most popular in the swing states? You ready? Expanding Medicare, 84%. Cutting the cost of prescription drugs, 84%. Make the rich pay more taxes, 82%. Expanding Social Security, 77%. Put a cap on rent increases, 75%. Reestablish the child tax credit, 71%. Build affordable housing, 70%. Raise the minimum wage to $17 an hour, 70% to raise it to $17 an hour. Cap the amount of money families spend on childcare, so reduced cost childcare, 65%. Eliminate medical debt, 64%. Do Medicare for all, 63%. Make public colleges and universities tuition-free, 59%. Pass the PRO Act, that's the pro-union piece of legislation, 57%. So the idea, these are all left-wing ideas. The idea that if you bring that up, you're going to alienate and isolate the moderates. Bullshit you are. I just showed you the numbers. The moderates love these positions too. This is what I hate about these assholes that they bring on the cable news networks. I just hate it. They just grab some random prick that went to an Ivy League college and they're like, hey, you have verbal diarrhea on air and we'll just run with whatever you say. And what do? They have these ridiculous perceptions of the way the system works and of the way elections are run. And it's such a stale, dead notion that always tell your base to fuck off. Well, for the first time in a long time, they are not telling the base to fuck off, and they're surging as a result of it. So how about you're just wrong? But I got more for you. So with this strategy of shoring up their base, which has been their predominant strategy since she became the one, right? Look at this. Do you lean closer towards the Republicans or the Democrats on abortion? Democrat plus 18. Environment, Democrat plus 17. Healthcare, Democrat plus 16. Election integrity, Democrat plus 13. Economy, Democrat plus 8. Okay, the economy one, 9 out of 10 times the Republicans win that. They have a built-in advantage because they're viewed by the public as with this narrative of they're the serious people about crunching the numbers and financial stuff. Wrong. As I said, economy, Democrat plus 8. That's the most I've seen Democrats up on the economy in my lifetime. Inflation, Democrat plus 4. War in Ukraine, Democrat plus 3. Policing and crime, Democrat plus 1. The only ones that the Republicans are up, and it's within the margin of error, is defense and immigration. So again, this person is just wrong. Where has this strategy of shoring up the base, where has it gotten them? Here you go. Look. These are the new numbers that just came out. The new numbers from Cook Political Report, some new polling. Here we go. Harris made up ground across the board, now either leading or tied in all but one battleground state. So in Arizona, Trump was plus 4, now it's Kamala plus 4. Georgia, Trump was plus 4, now it's tied. Michigan, Trump plus 3, now it's Kamala plus 2. Nevada's the only one where Trump is still up. North Carolina was Trump plus 8, now it's Kamala plus 2. Pennsylvania was Trump plus 3, now it's Kamala plus 5. Wisconsin went from tied to Kamala plus 5. And that's the gist of it. That's when you include RFK in the race, I should point out, by the way. When you put in, when you take out RFK, it's a little bit of a different scenario, but Kamala is still leading in all but one. And tied in one other. So thank God that they're tuning out these idiots, right? Thank God that they're tuning out these idiots. I really think part of what happened is Kamala felt sort of isolated from Biden, and Biden's got a real old school political network, people that have been with him for decades and decades. And they just have this shitty notion of politics. They still think it's 1992, and they still think you got to go out there, bipartisanship, oh yeah, bipartisanship, let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya and work with Mitch McConnell and say the fever will break once Trump is gone. And that shit didn't work. It didn't fucking work. His numbers were slipping and slipping and slipping and slipping and slipping. And so whoever's around Kamala and Tim Walz, it really does seem like it's a younger generation. There's fresher thinking. They're embracing the fight more. And so since they've gone all in that direction, look at the result. Look at the change. It's honestly astonishing. And I haven't even brought up, we had, I think we covered this the other day, but we had numbers from every single demographic group, right? We had independents and moderates and women and Hispanics and black people and everybody. And in every single front, massive gains. So, for the love of God, do not listen. Do not listen to the CNN types because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And then finally, last one for you. Again, with the strategy of shoring up the base, picking the best, most based, most left governor in the country, leaning into the fight, talking about progressive ideas. You saw the Tim Walz speech. You saw what he was talking about. He's bragging about giving free school breakfast and free school lunch to kids. And what happened? People loved it. But look at this. Final poll I'll show you. New Monmouth Poll. This is enthusiasm. This is enthusiasm. Ready? Look at this. In December, only 21% of Democrats were enthusiastic about the election. 47% of Republicans were. Now, here we are in August, 85% of Democrats are enthusiastic. And only 71% of Republicans are. 14-point lead for Democrats. I can't tell you the last time Democrats led on the enthusiasm front. I can't tell you. Now it's 85-71, bro. 85-71. Again, even if you just compare it to let's compare it to April, right? Let's compare it to April. 36% of Democrats were enthusiastic, 63% of Republicans were. In June, 46% of Democrats were enthusiastic, 71% of Republicans were. Look at the old switcheroo. I mean, they were almost down 30 points. Now they're up 14. Do not listen to that CNN blowhard. She has no clue what the fuck she's talking about. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay the course. All right, y'all. That's the show. Love y'all very much. Everybody do me a big favor. Subscribe. Click that button below. Trying to get to 10 mil. Build it one at a time, man. That's how you got to do it. So hook me up with a sub. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Thank you to everybody who supports the show on Patreon. That link, of course, is below too. Thank you for everybody who tips using the thanks button on YouTube. That helps massively too. Remember, I don't talk to any advertisers, so you guys help fund the show from the ground up. And that's all I got for you, man. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.